We hebben geld gekregen van een Amerikaanse organisatie. En in samenwerking met onder andere Cargill en het bedrijf BonBèrdè hebben we het voor elkaar gekregen om het belangrijkste gedeelte eigenlijk van die populatie te omheinen. Dat wil zeggen dat nu dit deel eigenlijk beschermd is tegen geiten en ezels. En dat binnen dat hek dus de nieuwe sabelpalm kan groeien zonder dat ze opgegeten worden. Dat is heel erg belangrijk. Maar ja, we willen natuurlijk wel wat meer dan het alleen maar beschermen. Want nu zit er een hek omheen, kunnen mensen er niet komen. En we willen juist mensen van Bonaire, mensen van heel de wereld ook laten zien dat het een hele unieke soort is. Dus we zijn nu bezig eigenlijk met het beginnen van fase 2. En hopelijk kunnen we daar met de samenwerking van de OOB snel aan beginnen. En dat zal het Bonaire Sabelpalmpark worden. En dat is ook echt opengesteld voor het publiek. Dan kunnen mensen zelf komen, kunnen ze zelf kijken naar de palm. Kunnen ze informatie krijgen, wandelen, fietsen. En geeft het ons de mogelijkheid om ook onderzoek te doen naar de palm. En hopelijk in de toekomst zelfs meer palmen te planten. The Bonaire sabelpalm is locally known, of course, as cabana. And it's not a new species. It's been here for quite a while. And the palm was already mentioned in the second flora of Bonaire. This is the Zac flora, which was made by the Arnoldo brothers. This is the original copy. In the first flora, the Bonaire palm is not yet mentioned, but in the second palm, it's already there. And then still named Sabal. So Sabal is a genus, it's the family name. But at the time, they didn't know what the species name was. So this is in 1964. And the first inventory on the palms was done in 1979, so much later, by a student actually called Winkelman. The report from 1979 is still the basis that we use today because it's basically all the information that we had until me and Patrick started doing our own research. 2017, Patrick started his research. During this inventory, the Bonaire sabelpalm was renamed together with the sabelpalm from Curaçao, and together it was a new species was named, which was named Sabal antillensis from the Antillen. Then in 2019, me and Patrick together did a new research, and we looked at the palms again, at both of those palms, and we finally renamed this species as Bonaire palm, and it got the name Sabal logidiana. But of course, for the stability of the population, it's important that we have the mature individuals that spread all the seeds and can do the regeneration.
It's an exciting thing to be able to do this fence, build it, because it's protecting something that really cannot be replaced. It's the only place in the world you can find it. So what we did was we came out a few different times and looked at the trees very carefully, and then we figured out what's the right season to come out to find good seeds. We collected those seeds. We've got a bunch of them germinating at nurseries here in Bonaire. We also have a few germinating at my botanic garden in Miami and at other botanic gardens around the world. It's exciting to me because this is an international collaboration. So having that diversity of expertise and diversity of funding sources is really what made this happen.
They are growing in a very, let me say, particular area on Bonaire. A lot of stone on the floor.
Yeah.
Why?
There's a very small elevation difference. Like as you're coming out to the site, you notice there's sort of a cactus forest. Then there's an area that's a little bit lower elevation. Then you get here, it's actually maybe a meter or so higher than some of the other areas. We have to do further studies and more research to figure out exactly why it prefers this location. It's something I'd like to see is for this palm to be thriving all over the island in every kind of habitat, and so people can really appreciate it. So the basic way to protect it is to build that fence.
You did tell us about like kind of a step in the trees. What was that about?
So many years ago, they carved those steps into the trunks. Those are designed or put in so people could climb up to the top of the tree and cut leaves off. And they would use that to make roofs on little structures that they have outside, like a little shade hut or a tiki hut or palapa. And that was a practice that was sort of abandoned about 40 years ago. But it's interesting, these trees are so old that they still have those steps in there from the mid-20th century. Pretty fascinating. The good news is people don't do that anymore because there's other sources for that leaf. And that's very important because if you do that too often, it can actually kill the tree. This, as far as we know, is unique to Bonaire. Only on Bonaire do the palms have these little lines like this that are made out of these little bumps. So when you go to Curaçao, you don't see it as much. When you go to other islands, it's not common. But on Bonaire, every single palm has these little bumps like that. And when we saw that, that was one of the clues that we thought this is a new species, something totally unique to Bonaire.
Actually, really recent, the population of the Bonaire sabelpalm has been listed on the IUCN list of threatened species. So that's the worldwide list where all of the species that are endangered are listed. And now also our own Bonaire palm. I mean, it's a good thing that it's listed, but also it's already listed as critically endangered. As you can see, that is very close to being extinct. So we're really on the threat of extinction at the moment.
The impression of de twee gedeputeerden.
Ik had het idee dat ze het erg leuk vonden, dat het ook goed was dat ze het een keertje zelf in het veld zagen. Ik ben natuurlijk ook eerder in gesprek geweest met beide heren. Dus ik hoop dat nu ze het gezien hebben, dat ze voldoende zin hebben ook om het hele park te realiseren.